Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with Mr. Fantastic talking about the abilities and everything you should know, what team comp you should have, and all of that fun stuff. So I am no expert on this game at all, so if you don't think I'm right, that's great, but from what I've experienced today, these are the kind of best things to do and how to use the character. Unfortunately, all the footage that I had corrupted, so I'm just here in practice mode going to talk about it. But before we get into it, I'm giving away some gold, as you can see on screen, or lattice as it's called in this game. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below. So the first thing about Mr. Fantastic is that he is part tank, part DPS. I like him better for DPS than tank, but he does work in both ways. Now, he has an ability to absorb any kind of projectiles, whether it's these little tiny projectiles or a big super like Iron Man super or Magneto super. You can block it, and all you do is you activate it and you stand in the way. Now, as you can see, that middle bar goes down in terms of from 300 to like 275, I think he went to then. Whatever damage you take while you are in that mode will reflect it back to a smaller amount. You're not going to do a 1-for-1. So let's say Iron Man throws his ability at you and you absorb it all. You're not going to throw that all the way back. It's a percentage based thing. So it's just basically a way to crowd control as well as put out some damage. So for instance, you see 300, 275, 250, 225, and then you fire it back out. That is all that is really good for. Obviously, it's going to be used mainly to dodge supers and help your team from dodge supers. And the next thing is that even though he is made of rubber, his actual reach is not as far as I thought it would be. If I stand here on the 15 meters, cannot reach the enemies. If I walk forward a little bit to about 14, you can see that now I can hit him. He does pretty good damage, but it's going to take 5 hits to get an enemy down of this level, of this caliber. Big tanks, you're probably not going to do it. So here is the thing. His attack animation and stuff makes him a slow hitter. So his damage in comparison to what he's throwing out and how fast he's throwing it out is pretty average, or at least it seems that way. He has some other abilities to make up for this, especially getting big and beefy and doing some more damage. So you can see in the middle I have a little number that says 75. This is his elasticity buff, whatever you want to call it. Once that reaches 100, I will grow into a big bulky guy and start doing way more damage than I'm currently doing. However, his range also gets a lot shorter. So you can see if I do this now and I turn into my big guy, I can no longer hit at this range. I have to get literally to about here, just over 5 meters to be able to do damage. And you can see that I'm doing way more damage. So you need to be keeping an eye on that elasticity. One of his best kind of combos that you can do is to jump your way in. So we do this and boom. When you jump in here, you obviously kind of stun the person. You get a big shield as you land on top of them, which gives you a little bit of defense. You want to time this alongside your elasticity getting big. So if we get to roughly about 95 here, and then we use this ability, I'm going to grow big straight away, and then we can just start hitting from very, very close range. As you can see, I took him down really quickly. This form does run out fairly quick. That's why you want to make sure you are diving in with it, so you can instantly grow big and then do a whole bunch of damage. Now, his other ability is, I haven't found a really good use for this yet, but it's obviously some sort of like crowd control type situation, where you can grapple at least 2 people and bang them into each other. Now, it doesn't do a lot of damage, a ton of damage, but it does allow you to hold 2 enemies together, throw them up into the air, and just get them out of the way from like their big moves that they're doing. I feel like you could probably pull someone out of their ultimate, but don't quote me on that. But we could do this, and we can do this, and we just slam them together. Now, I don't know where's best to use this. However, so I have found while playing that if, the fight's going on over here and you're out of the way, no one really knows you there, that is the best place for you to actually do this. Get involved, let the rest of your team attack. You're going to, throw them up into the air and get them from stopping them from being able to attack, and your team can take them out. It's a little bit of crowd control. So one of the other things that I didn't realize straight away, and I clocked onto it after about an hour of playing, is that you can hit both these targets with one arm punch. So you want to punch and swing. So if you're in a, fighting a group of enemies, you want to just do this and hit as many people as you can. And I think a lot of people don't realize that Mr. Fantastic can do that. So you want to be off to the side somewhere, just hitting as many enemies as you can with one single punch. that's going to be your like kind of go-to. So when it comes to team comp, to allow you to be able to be off on the sides, you are essentially going to play a pseudo second tank. Ideally, what you want for Mr. Fantastic is to have 2 main tanks, or at least like a Doctor Strange and a Magneto, or like a Venom and a Magneto, something that can get in their face and distract them. Hulk is good for it, Venom is good for it. You can just get right up on top of them and you're distracting them, and then the Mr. Fantastic can just come around the side and just start, you know, start helping as much as they can. And then, you know, if your tank is getting overwhelmed, you could jump your way in and get in the way, and then pop this to take some projectile damage. So you're just going to play like an in and out tank. You're just going to get in and out as fast as you can. And then let's just say, you know, like your tank is taking some damage. Maybe the healers aren't as good as you want them to be. You being the kind of third tank, you need to be watching your elasticity. And like we showed just prior before, you know, you want to make sure that you are jumping in on your 100 elasticity, and then you can start taking over the damage while your tank gets away, heals, whatever you need to do. That is pretty much what you should be doing, Mr. Fantastic. You kind of want another DPS who's close range as well. So you got like your main tank or your main chaos causing person, you know, a secondary tank, a healer, or maybe like a healer like Rocket Raccoon who can shoot from range and also heal. You know, there's a lot of different things, but essentially you are playing a mix between tank and DPS. It's a very difficult character, and it took me quite a while to get in on it. Now that ultimate you just saw, basically whenever you touch an enemy with it, whenever you hit an enemy with it, it does another bounce. It could do 3 bounces if you miss everything, or it could do 6 bounces if you keep hitting things. So for instance, if I just did it here, I'm going to do 3 on its own, and then it's going to give up and I can't do nothing. So you want to make sure you are hitting people. And that's pretty much Mr. Fantastic as a whole. I wish I had some of my footage. I'm not the best player in the world, you know, and I'm not going to be the best Reed Richards ever. But I found him to be interesting enough to kind of really think about how he plays, rather than just like a brain dead kind of, oh, you know, Hawkeye shoots people from range. Like, this actually takes, you know, some kind of thinking. Also as well, if you've only got one enemy here and you haven't got another target, you can actually just damage them where you jump in and do that move as well. And now I'm big again. Ow. 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 I do love this character. I don't think I'm going to be able to main this character because I'm just not good enough for something like this. I'm not a great hero shooter type person. I just love getting in the mix. That's why I only play quick play. But if you are interested and you want to put into practice what I'm saying to the best of your ability, because that doesn't work for me because I suck, please do. Let me know if you have any other tips for Mr. Fantastic. And yeah, hope you're enjoying this season. I am so far. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy Now. You guys have been awesome.